This is the Crookedrivercast. I am Robert, and joining me every week is Tom, and we are two guys from Northeast Ohio just trying to figure out what's going on in Ohio. This is show 40, recorded on December 20th, 2025. Another week has gone by, and again, we got some stuff to discuss, so let's do it. In the morning,
Rob.
How you doing?
Not bad. Got a good night's sleep.
Well, that's going to help.
Yeah.
That's going to help.
A couple cups of coffee. I got some energy.
Oh, yeah. Extra.
A little bit.
I got some energy because I wait, that doesn't make any sense. But
What?
just enough time. I had some energy, so I had just enough time. That's where I was going. I had just enough time with the weather to wash my truck. It fit right in this little slot. It got like 50. I washed it, and then it was snowing.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not the salty rain.
Oh, it was so bad. Yeah, it's like
My truck's looking awful.
You know, when you can't close your car door or truck door, whatever, without getting your hands dirty, probably time to wash it.
You walk away, everything on you is like white.
What do you mean? What's all this? I never touched my truck, I swear. Well, the evidence would show that.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can't even. That was fun. At least we got to 50 for a minute, melted everything, and now we just start all over again.
Yeah, I think today's going to be a little warmer, right?
Yeah, it's going to go up and down. Hey, I don't know. I'm just counting the days.
You're almost out of here.
Almost out of here in another week or so. We're going to take a little trip to a warm climate.
Nice.
See the Arizona desert for a minute. But I do have an update. I wanted to update the listeners. I'm sure they were just chopping at they probably couldn't sleep this whole time figuring out what CD I was going to get my daughter for Christmas.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I was tossing and turning thinking about that.
I'm sorry. I should have let you in on it, but that's my fault. Anyway, so I went a couple different routes. I wasn't sure where to go, and so suddenly I had an epiphany. Here I'm trying to shove all these old bands down her throat. Is she going to relate to them? Like how do you like music? Why do you like music? Started thinking about this and how. Well, you relate a lot of times. You relate to the song. You relate to the lyrics. You relate to the person singing.
Let me ask this because I was thinking about this. Believe it or not, I wasn't tossing and turning, but I was thinking about this.
Man, I was right.
I didn't lose sleep over this, Rob, but I was thinking about it because our listener wrote, about not a greatest hits album and all that.
Yep.
And I thought he was correct, but after I thought about the age of your daughter that you're giving this to, I thought he was wrong because she's a little too young to get it.
Oh, I get, yeah, okay.
I think if she was 15 or 14, even 13, then I would go for the album rock or, album.
Sure.
But at her age, I think, I don't know if she's ready for that.
Sure. That's a valid point. I would go with eventually she will be, in which she'll have that album.
Yeah.
And not the greatest hits. So maybe that's, think like kind of future proofing it, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that fits in there.
I was thinking at her age, a greatest hits album would be a good turn on for at her age. And then, if you see that she likes the music, then you're like, all right, cool.
What song was that album off of?
Right.
She really likes, get that
song.
And
then introduce the album for, more of an album format.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it.
Yeah, not really.
Just depends. Like, I think what you even said in the email was, depending on what you're trying to do. Like,
oh, okay.
What are you trying to accomplish? Maybe that was me. I don't know. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish with this album. If you're trying to give them some insight on where music where rock and roll came from, this and that, then maybe go a different route. I don't know. I don't know if there's a wrong way to go. I think you're right. That's a good point. Being that young, maybe it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I just don't think they get the concept of album rock,
especially now,
because you got to sit through what you might feel are clunkers in the like when you listen to it the first time, you're like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of albums grew on me.
Yes. Most of them do for me.
Most of them did, right? You kind of bought it because there was either it's your favorite band or you heard a song that you really liked.
Right.
And then you put the album on, you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. But then you hear it, 3 or 4 times, 5 times, whatever. You're like, oh, no, there's some really good stuff on here.
It's actually one of the things I'm trying to teach her is like, you got to give it a minute. Sometimes the first time you listen to an album, you may not like it all that much.
Right.
But give it a couple listens and you start, okay, then now I'm getting it. For me, a lot of albums are that way. A lot. Most of them, I would say. But I went a different route.
Okay.
Sort of different route. I thought, again, relating how at her age, she's listening to, what is she listening to? She's listening to Taylor Swift. She's listening to, and all that kind of pop music. But it's all there's one common denominator that I see.
Female.
Female, yes.
Yeah.
So I went, okay. So that's when I went, okay, you can relate to the lyrics of a song that anybody sings, but girls sing about girl things and guys and boys sing about boy things, women and guys and all. We all kind of, you can, obviously there's tons of overlap. So and then conveniently enough, on my feed, I think it was my YouTube feed, a band that I have not listened to in quite a while popped up, almost like they're listening.
They are, Rob.
Well, yeah.
That's another show.
It's a whole nother, it's a couple of shows probably. They, so this band is, maybe you remember them, Evanescence.
I remember the name. I don't remember the song.
They had,
was that kind of like a one-hit wonder?
No, actually they had 2 hit albums. Amy Lee is the singer. Going Under is one of their songs. The title track, is the first track off their album. That was their first hit. Bring Me Back to Life is the second one. My Immortal is the third one. They had 3 hit singles off their first album.
All right.
They have a second album which had a couple on it.
I don't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're going the metal route.
It's heavier, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was one route. So I went that. I bought their first album because first I think she's killer. Her vocals are. She's a classically trained pianist, and she got some pipes, and she's 45 years old and still singing exactly the same way. And as far as I can tell, with no help.
45 is not that old.
I know, but to hit what she's hitting, I think.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, she's got some. I shouldn't say I haven't heard anything different. She still sings to me just as good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the album. That was Fallen, I think. Yeah, Fallen is the name of the album. Is her first album. And the second one, I went, how can I get some pop? Like something pop-ish, pop-y, but still have an actual band.
Right.
No Doubt.
Oh, that's a good one.
No Doubt. Their first album. Crap, I forgot what it was called. Shoot.
If you're going
tragic something or
other. No Doubt. I'm not. I mean, I always liked. That's
Gwen. Is her name?
Gwen Stefani. I always liked her.
I mean, not her singing, but you just.
No. Well, yeah, she's hot too.
She's cute. Yeah.
No, her and Tom Bukovac just did an album. I'm
no kidding. Really?
I don't know if it's a No Doubt album that he's playing on, and I think he's helping produce. So I'm really looking. I think it's her album. Is she the one that? Maybe I'm getting. Is she the one that married basically a cowboy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's who this is. Because I think she lives in Nashville now, or Texas. I forget. So.
Oh, I see. No Doubt.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what their first album was. No Doubt first album was. Why would it say that?
The Beacon Street Collection?
Maybe, maybe it was not their first album. Oh, here it is. I think Tragic Kingdom. It's not their first album, I guess. Tragic Kingdom is the album I got.
Right. Okay.
30 years old.
Yeah,
it's an oldie. It's
another one that she might like is like Cyndi Lauper's first album too.
Cyndi Lauper, Pat Benatar.
Oh, that's a good one too. I mean, if you kind of want a little bit more rock.
Yeah, Pat Benatar. Then
don't forget about crap with the
Joan Jett.
Sweet dreams are made of.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Eurythmics, is it?
Eurythmics. Eurythmics.
I forget her name.
Yes. So that's why I just went with 2. And she got a couple. I'm going to stop there. I think we're going to start taking trips to the music store.
Oh, that's cool. Let her dig through the CDs.
So I went and bought No Doubt at the Exchange, and I actually signed up for the rewards program, figuring I'd probably use this a little bit more. Cool stuff at there. I walk in that place. It's like, keep my wallet in the car, please. There's a lot of cool. They got a lot of used gear there and stuff. It's kind of cool.
The
The
exchange.
Exchange.
Yeah.
It used to be the Record Exchange. Yeah, I'm all over the place. It's pretty cool. Speaking of that, so that's one daughter. We'll speak of the second daughter real quick too. So my older daughter, the high schooler, I think we mentioned that she had a debate.
Oh,
in speech class. It turns out it was her midterm final. Was this debate? So she had a great break into groups of 4, and her story was basically they couldn't come up with all 4 of them had to agree on a topic, and they were having problems. So she brought up abolishing SNAP.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Anyway, so she came to me with one of those, and those who have teenagers will understand what this means when you say, Dad, I need some help. What? Oh my gosh, it's happening. So she actually needed some help with homework, and she's pretty smart, so she almost never asks us for help for homework. And we went through this whole debate thing, and long story short is she won. So they had a grading scale. It's 8 people grading the debate, and she won 6-2, her side, not just her and her partner. The other side, shockingly, just had no facts. It was all emotion. Per her, that was her quote. Dad, it was they had no facts. It was all, and I said, let me guess, emotion? She goes, yeah. I go, you'll find that a lot. You'll find that a lot.
You got to explain to her, though, as they get older and they keep debating, they'll understand how to manipulate you with those emotions or well, how do you think this is wrong? Using an emotion to make you feel like you're wrong. It's like, she has to learn that. That's I think a typical debate strategy,
Yeah. And she's seeing, and I don't know, I'm not sure I have to worry all that. I mean, I think she's from what I heard, she handled that pretty well when they were doing that. And the other side was one of her friends. So I was like, are you guys still friends? I go, you have to understand, it's just a debate just because you guys disagree. And it's kind of good, a lesson for them. But the two of them, I would bet, at that age.
It is a very good lesson, but it's not. It wouldn't be a bad idea if she actually debated the other side of her stance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd sent her an article, too, and asked her to look at the other side. I sent her a couple of things pro SNAP benefits. Yeah,
but it would be good to try to debate it, not just figure out what they're going to say. Because now she learned that all they used was emotional sloganeering, basically, probably. And but to actually argue with facts from the other side. Yeah. And that if you understand those and actually argue them, because if you understand, I'm talking like I've done it. But I think if you actually understand the facts from the other side, you have a better understanding of how to argue from the side that that you are actually.
Yeah, you'll know their argument better than they will.
Yeah.
And that's kind of some of the things that you got to know their argument better than they know it. And I think this has happened to me, but only really out of force because I've heard the argument so many times. This depends on what it is from the other side of it. I kind of already know what it is, but yes, coming from a different angle, one of the pieces of information I kind of stumbled upon was a new YouTuber. Have you heard? And he's just hitting in the viral memes lately. Have you heard of Caleb Hammer?
No.
He does financial audits. And when I was looking around on YouTube and
I think I've seen something about that.
Yep, he's on Twitter. Yep, he's getting hot because
Caleb what?
Caleb Hammer.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And one of the things I was pulling up, just trying to find. Actually, I was looking for some PragerU videos because they have short videos that are pretty to the point and they have a lot of graphics. And I did find a couple on Snap and the history and all that stuff. And one of the things I found was Caleb Hammer, and I've started watching him a little bit. Man. And I can see why he's getting. So here's a little clip. I just wanted to show this. Make sure I do this right here. Yeah, better than last week. Here's a little clip, and you'll find out really quick why he's getting hammered. And he just posted on X or whatever a few days ago saying, I'm getting hammered now, and it's all from one side. It's all from the left, and I've had enough of you. And he's not a right guy. And you'll hear that in this clip a little bit. So here's a look. So this is the clip that I found, a part of it, I think, where what his story is, he brings people in who are in bad financial situation, usually younger people. And he goes through the finances, and he's brutal. He is brutal. Every little nook and cranny he's going through. Why are you going to Chipotle? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And from watching his program, I think they sign a lot of NDA or a lot of releases. Like they let them know, hey, Caleb's going to rip you a new one. So I hope you understand that. And it's going to be okay. You can't sue us and all this other stuff. So he brings him in, and he just rips on him. And so this is the one I found. And this is a Missouri, I think he says, Missouri mother who's on Snap. And this is like a short YouTube short, so it's cut up a lot, but you get the gist of it. Here you go.
Go get a job. Work 40 hours a week, 9 to 5.
I don't want to.
There it is. Government, take away her food stamps right now. Her income is $1,000. She has kids, and she spends $300 a month on her competitive cheer. Guys, she gets how much in food stamps?
321.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are technically, as taxpayers, paying for her to go to competitive cheer. This is an indication that we need an audit on our programs, because I'm okay with spending as much as we spend, but I want to take it away from disgusting motherfuckers like yourself and give more to people that actually need it. Missouri, audit how you are handing out your benefits.
I mean, they go based on income.
Income that you're choosing because you're refusing to go work. And then you spend $300 a month, which is what we subsidize you on competitive cheer. I like robust social programs. I really do. You ruin it.
I'd love it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he is, and it's part of his shtick. He even kind of says it in some of the interviews I've seen outside of his shows. Like, hey, that's a lot of my personality, but that's part of the show too. It's why the show.
He's amping it up. Yeah,
he's amping it up, and you have to when you're doing it. But I think a lot of it, he I saw one about two dreamers. Two illegal immigrants, I would consider them dreamers, and she doesn't work because she just had a baby. He's working. He's a construction worker. I mean, he's in Texas, Hispanic, so no duh. But so he spent $2,000 on a trip to Florida to see a soccer game. One of the famous British. I forget the guy's name. It doesn't matter. So, I had to see him. It's one of the only chances to see him. So what does she do? She said, okay, well, I get to go see Shakira. So the three of them, the man and wife, they're not married, and her daughter go to see Shakira. Tells him they spent $2,000. He was okay with $2,000, but it was actually over $4,000.
Oh God!
They make $6,000 a month, and she spent $4,000. And I'm coming down to all this. This is they're freaking children, dude. These are children. He's ripping into her, and she goes, but I danced all night. I had fun. You're $107,000 in debt.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's quite fun, actually.
Me and my wife did something a couple of years ago. Went to see a show downtown. I think the show and dinner and all that ended up being close to like $800, man. And I'll never I'll never,
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll never forget that, man. It's fine to do that once in a while, but that was for me and her to have a nice night out. We didn't do it for a while, but
you went to a comedy show.
Pardon me?
You went to a comedy show, you said?
No, it was a rock concert.
Oh, rock concert.
But with the tickets and parking.
Oh, dinner and everything.
And dinner, we splurged, but it's like, how do you justify like $4,000?
$4,000 when you make $70,000 a year or $60,000 a year.
And me and my wife do better than that, and
we would never.
We don't, have that kind of debt. And I'm still like sitting here going, it still makes me like cringe that we did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. His view is if you've got emergency fund, if you got 3 to 6 months of bills, then maybe some of that is okay. Some.
Sure.
Not
sure.
$4,000. If you make $500,000 a year, then okay, you can spend $4,000.
It wasn't $4,000. It was over $6,000 because he went to see a soccer game.
Right. So yeah. And that's one thing. Like he was pissed because she lied to him. He wasn't pissed that she spent even at $2,000. It would have been ridiculous. And she lied to him to spend $4,000. Hey, how does she lie to you about $2,000 on your credit cards?
I forgot about those extra drinks that she bought or whatever. You know.
Oh yeah, and he's ripping on her. You know, ripping on he rips on all of it, and that's one of the reasons he's getting so much flack is because he's just ruthless. And he had mentioned, I think it was on. Oh no, I forget the comedy podcast spin off, like one of the Joe Rogan spinoffs. But he's like, yeah, I think recessions are good because it makes people realize how good they actually had it. He goes, my generation, that millennial, zennial kind of thing, we haven't been through one, and we are so focused on the crap that we've got it so good that we argue about the most minute crap, you know, whether it's, well, it could be a multitude. I'm not going to go any further with it, but I would check him out. I'll put his, put that YouTube short in the show notes. That way you can go up on the blog and you can maybe dive in a little bit. It's quite fun to him rip these people apart. And then he is doing follow-ups for a lot of them that he's helped. And he'll give them financial help. He has an app that helps you budget and we categorize everything to see what you're spending. They got therapy sessions and financial education and stuff like if they want it. Yeah, it's quite juicy. I like it. I'm just sitting there going, and it makes me want to go, damn, I got to do my budget again.
Well, it does.
Stop going out to eat.
That does.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know,
start looking at what you spend on fast food and all that kind of stuff. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's always good to at least look, right? Take a look.
Yeah, of course.
Keep an eye on it because it get out of hand. Especially now when you go 2 people at Chipotle is $40.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. $20 burgers at a restaurant, you know?
Yeah. 5 Guys the other day was 13 or $14 for a double cheeseburger.
It's ground beef.
Yes, but I tell you this much: it was better than some of the $20 ones I've seen at restaurants.
I understand that, but at least at a
crazy.
restaurant, I have a place to. You know, you're also paying for atmosphere and a little bit of ambiance, I guess.
Yep. Well, speaking of affordability,
affordability.
How do you like that as a segue? Dang,
that was actually pretty good.
Trump had a speech.
He had a speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was he addressed the nation the other night. Was that Wednesday? That was Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't all that. I mean, there wasn't all that much meat in there other than
it was a State of the Union address without
Congress, basically.
Yeah,
what it
right.
was. Look
kind
what
of.
I've done. Sleepy Joe sucks, and here's some money for the troops. That was the biggest one.
It was
1776 checks for the military.
Yeah, before or after taxes.
Oh, definitely. Well, you know, it's that's a good question. It should be no taxes.
It should be right.
That's the big one, and just that he went on and on about how horrible his predecessor was, and all he's done in the last 11 months, which is, you know, all good. I just don't think there was I don't know. I'm kind of wondering why. Is it just a year-end speech he was trying to do?
Oh, I think he was. I think he's been getting some
people.
He's been getting some bad press.
Mm-hmm.
That's a silly thing to say, but no, I mean, Trump. Like, he always 99% bad press, but I think people are starting to feel, you know, they're not getting any relief. That's what I think is happening, and I think the administration's getting a little bit of pressure for that.
I think the one thing we have to understand, and I hope the president and the administration understands, that the American people are a bunch of whiny little bitches, and they expect everything to be done now. Instant, now!
And short term memories.
And short term.
Yep.
And very short term.
Yeah.
This inflation thing started during Trump's last year or two of his term. This is all, to me, spending.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Well,
The trillions of dollars we spent on COVID started.
That's COVID, but you said the last couple of years. Because
the last couple of years of the last year of his presidency is when it started going up.
I would say probably the last 6 months. I don't know if how much did it go up?
It was starting to. It wasn't. It barely it made the radar, in my opinion, and it really hit about a year or two later in the middle of. I'm not obviously not.
You have to blame the first. What were they called? The checks, the couple grand that we got.
Yeah, it's the one thing that someone could come to me and criticize Trump, and I'd probably agree with some of it, if not all of it. And that's he spends like a drunken sailor at a whorehouse.
Yes, he does. But when you stopped the money, like the growth that was happening, that's when the inflation really hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially and
because the economy was just booming in 2019, man.
Yep, wages were going up, and all the companies are flipping out.
Yeah,
we have to actually compete for people. Oh, we don't like that. We like them competing for us. So,
that was a good time. So, you could blame COVID or you could blame Trump or whatever. But most of the damage, I think, happened under Biden.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, it did, and he didn't help. He certainly didn't try to curb any of that. He made it worse, definitely. More spending and more checks and more, but when you print $7 or $8 trillion, this is what happens. And that's what we did during COVID.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, everybody wanted their $1,200 checks. Everybody thought it was great. And I was going, hey, dumbass, it's going to come back and bite you right in the ass because, just give me my money.
But what I think I think the way Trump thinks about that is, he wants to spend, but as long as there's real growth. But what Biden did was he kept spending, and then he kind of added more regulations. It stopped he killed any growth. So not only are you spending, but now you're just basically just stalled the economy and spent. So you're screwed at that point.
Yeah.
You can't get out of it. It is a lot. It would, at least under Obama, which there was too much regulation going on, but there was not enough growth, but it was growing. It was just real slow.
Yeah.
I think the first time Trump had, it was a lot easier to just kind of spark the economy. And this time coming back after what Joe did was like, oh crap, now there's way more hurdles to go through.
Well, I mean, added on to that, he's also, I have a little side clip here about what else he's changing at the White House. So this came up and I had to pull it because I thought it was pretty funny. So he has a presidential walk of fame, presidential hall of fame. Is that what it is?
I think it's always been there. I think. He's changed it up. But, yeah, I think so.
I didn't, because I'm told it's a so-called Hall of Fame. But he's made some changes to it, at least. He's made some changes to it. And this is really making people mad. And so here's Caitlin Collins, I believe. Yeah, CNN. Caitlin Collins and what Trump has done with the so-called Hall of Fame.
So these new plaques have just been added to the so-called Presidential Walk of Fame.
So-called.
They almost read, some of them, like Truth Social posts, including the ones under President Obama's that says he was one of the most divisive political figures in American history. Under President Biden's, it describes him as Sleepy Joe Biden and also says that he was the worst U.S. president in history. There are some that are nicer, including under Ronald Reagan's, for example, where President Trump says at the end that he was a fan of Trump's long before he ran for president. The White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, says the president actually hand wrote some of these plaques himself.
No kidding, really? You don't say. Here's what it says. So first of all, under Joe Biden, it doesn't have his name on the plaque, on the picture, because it's not him pictured there. It has, and they don't show this in the report. This is a little YouTube short that I pulled from. They show pictures of Bush and Obama and Trump. They don't show Biden's picture because his picture isn't there. It's a picture of the auto pen. And it says in the plaque, in the nameplate on the picture, auto pen 2021 to 2025.
I'm going to miss that so much after 2028.
And I think he might be the only picture that has 2 plaques under it because he couldn't fit it all in one. And I took a screenshot of it from the video because, again, they only shows the bottom of the picture when you can just see the barely part of the auto pen, and then it has the plaque or the nameplate. And underneath it says, Sleepy Joe Biden was, by far, the worst president in American history, taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever seen in the United States. Biden oversaw a series of unprecedented disasters that brought our nation to the brink of destruction. His policies caused the highest inflation ever recorded, leading to U.S. dollar to lose more than 20% of its value in 4 years. Talks about the Green New Deal, surrendering American energy dominance. Biden let 21 million people from all over the world pour into our nation, from prisons and jails and mental institutions. His Afghanistan disaster was among the most humiliating events in American history and resulted in the murder of 13 brave American servicemen who many others gravely wounded. That's plaque 1. Plaque 2 says, named both Sleepy and Crooked Joe Biden was dominated by his radical left handlers. They and their allies from the fake news media attempted to cover up his mental decline in his unprotected use of the auto pen. Following his humiliating debate loss to President Trump in the big June 2024 debate, this is literally a true social post. Let's see. Despite all that, President Trump would get reelected in a landslide to save America. End of plaque. End of plaque number 2. He goes on. I mean, he's got Bush in there. Like, yeah, Bush was okay, but some about the great financial crisis, and he was it Bush? Bush started Afghanistan and Iraq war, which should never have happened.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, he was nicer, but the so-called Walk of Fame. That's pretty good. But yeah, so they have. I did all of them, but yeah, so all in the same time. You get to cut that one out. Trump speech, we got that. I think we can start with. Oh, wait, I got to go with my list. Wait, check. Too much coffee this morning. Calm down, Rob. Calm down. Okay. Subscribe to the show. Send us a like. Wait, don't have likes. Smash that like button. No, I can't do that. Give us a review. 4 stars, 5 stars, 8 stars, whatever it is. We're like rental car places. We only take 5-star reviews. If you're going to leave anything other than that, just don't even bother. But yeah, we have a website, crookedrivercast.com. You can go every Monday morning and check out the blog. As the show drops, the blog will be there with all of our stories in it. You can follow along, read through it. Then you can email us and say how crazy we were about this and that and the other thing. Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. And thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. It's been a fun journey so far. Speaking of that, we've got some governor race. Let's touch on the governor's race before the end of the year. And this next story is, Ohio Labor. Of course, the Ohio.news story says Ohio labor unions endorse Acton. Ramaswamy's campaign responds with criticism of her record. It's really 4 unions. It's not all the unions. So 4 labor unions endorsed Democratic Ohio gubernatorial candidate Amy Acton on Thursday for her, and her presumptive Republican challenger responded by criticizing her record as the state's top health official during the pandemic until she left her post. So it is the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, the Ohio Civil Services Employees Association, the Ohio Association of Public School Employees, and the United Auto Workers, and the United Steelworkers. Yeah, just all the typical ones. Like, they weren't going to endorse the Democratic candidate.
And I don't think most United Auto Workers are lefty.
I don't think
weird.
they're fans of Amy, regardless of how they.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them being. But I will say this. I will say Amy's been getting some coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Amy here from X. You may sound a little different than last time we heard her.
Whenever you're 45th in anything, especially after giving away billions in taxpayer dollars, you need to take a hard look at what you're doing. Ohio is 45th in growth in GDP, 45th in unemployment, and our biggest export is young people. Most regions are struggling to retain good jobs. The current trickle-down, pay-to-play approach is simply not working. So on my first day as governor, I will convene with leaders and communities across the state to do a full and comprehensive review of Jobs Ohio and require more transparency, greater accountability, so that together we can put forward a new plan to grow our economy. Across government, I will focus on supporting small businesses, advancing regional economic development, and expanding workforce development and skills training. We will invest in the modern infrastructure we need to compete in the 21st century, from broadband to transportation. And most importantly, when our state makes investments, we must ensure that those investments lead to good jobs for Ohio workers, for Ohio families and communities, instead of simply padding the bottom lines of big out-of-state corporations. We must learn that in the 21st century economy, building the best quality of life possible is the surest way to attract and retain the talented workers it takes to build a strong Ohio economy.
And smile. Okay. You missed your chance, Amy. Apparently you got some coaching, because you do sound a little more forceful, a little more like confidence. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Not, hey, Amy Acton.
Well, there wasn't one and
yeah, and that was uncut. I believe it did not look like there was a cut in that I can tell.
It's hard to do that in video without making it. Yeah.
But she missed her chance. She did not once mention affordability. So apparently you weren't listening too well in the meetings, because isn't that your talking point now? Even Trump's saying affordability now. It's the key phrase for the midterms. Affordability.
They're going to try to, that's going to be their, The economy has to start turning around. Republicans have any chance.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it really won't matter the fine details, because I have a feeling that the economy is going to be a piece of crap all the way until the midterms.
You think so?
Regardless if it is or not. I'm not saying it's going to be a piece of crap. I'm not saying all we're going to hear, it is a piece of crap. And that's kind of...
I don't think that matters, where they could say whatever they want. It's how people are feeling when they go to the gas pump, when they go to the grocery store, when they go and go to a restaurant, and it's not maybe it won't be a $20 burger anymore. Maybe it'll go down to $17.
So just wondering though, I thought inflation was good. We were told during Biden administration, inflation was good. That's my point. Right, it's like, no, when inflation was going crazy and you were seeing 10 and 20% increases over 6 months on certain products. I know I saw it in my industry. Oh, it's good. Inflation's good. It's good. Now it's bad. Inflation, bad. Very good. Nothing's affordable anymore. I agree. Like I said, you go to two people, go to freaking Five Guys, you spend $45. Freaking insane. But what does that have to do with? Why is that? Do American people going to look and figure it out? No, they're going to watch the news media and go, oh, this Trump's bad. And you know what? He sounds like a bully too. He doesn't talk nice to people. I don't like him.
I don't think that works anymore.
Okay. I do. I
don't think it works at all. He wouldn't have won if it worked.
Yes, he won, and then
he won 3 times.
Right. We'll get to. We'll follow that. We'll touch on that in a second. We'll see. Maybe we'll have some more evidence. So Vivek is going on her record. So he's pushing back on her record. She's pushing, and you see it all over X, and that it's the polls. Amy's good. Oh, look what Amy's doing in the polls. Like, polls schmoles. Yeah,
he's still leading by 3 in the aggregate.
Well, that's and okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with the most positive one. He's leading by 3 to 5%.
He's never led by more.
Yeah,
and
it seems
Amy
like
Acton,
a problem to me, if you ask me.
I don't think so. The key thing is nobody really knows who Acton is. So when you don't know the actual record of the person that's running, they have a way better chance of people liking them. It's kind of like there's a commentator on YouTube that used Kasich when he was running for president. He called it the Kasich effect. And it was when he was running for president, I think it was 2016, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was, but he looked good. He was he spoke well. Ohio was a decent state. He seemed like a good choice for a Republican candidate. And, but the more they learned about his policies and the more they learned what rhino, I guess I hate using that. I overuse that, but kind of like what a wimpy guy he was. He lost favorability, and the same thing's happening now.
So what?
I know Amy Acton was there, but how many people really did watch that, and how many people remember her name? It's not huge.
Right, you're correct on all that. I'm just wondering, what do they see in Amy? Because
Nothing.
She has no policies, and she doesn't come off with any confidence. So I mean, besides
nothing.
Recently.
But
so
again, nobody they're just asking.
So she's just.
Do you think the people that are taking polls know anything more than I'm a Democrat?
I think you could take whatever lead that Vivek has and probably double it. In the final, yeah. Well, I meant just because the polls are always skewed, depending on who. It's skewed one way or the other depending on who's doing the poll. In my opinion, it's either skewed. They either sample more Democrats or sample more Republicans, and you could push it 2 or 3% just by doing that. Yeah,
I forget what those kind of polls are called, but I
think she's getting the unnamed Democrat.
Exactly. That's like it's that effect of people don't know who she really is, and once it gets closer and people learn more about her, it's going to drop off. And the other thing is, Democrats, generally just vote for Democrats. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter how bad they are. Look how many votes Kamala got. Yeah, you were literally running a retard.
Well, wow, look at that. I just never thought of how similar the Ohio election was to the last presidential election. Anyway, so I think Vivek should be up by more. Just because of the contrast in her, she's got bad mojo.
I don't think Vivek's going to get people to come out and vote. That's the problem with Vivek.
Yeah, we're going to get to Vivek in a second here, but yes, I just wonder.
I have issues with him too, but I'm going to go vote, and if he's the candidate, then that's who I'm voting for. But it doesn't mean I really like it. There's no way I could vote for her.
Well, that's the next story is we've got some major Republicans in Ohio who have not put their endorsement behind Vivek, and kind of being questioned on why.
I think it's Vivek, like cake.
Is it Vivek? It's spelled Vivek, Vek. So
I know, but he's Vivek. Brown and he's Indian, so it's Vivek.
What I was pronouncing it Vivek, and people were telling me I was wrong. So I was like, I looked at the spelling, and I'm like, well, it is spelled that way, so maybe I am wrong.
No, it's Vivek.
It does happen like once or twice a year, Tom.
People do pronounce it wrong, but they pronounce it Vivek, and that's wrong.
I mean, but I'm not going to start trying to pronounce Ramaswamy. I guess that's easier than that's Rama. It rolls off the tongue.
Or you could just say Obama dot.
Obama dot. Oh yeah, we could do that. That's not nice, Tom. So, he doesn't have a dot, does he? Have a dot? He's not one of those Indians, is he? Oh, his parents are those.
I never understood them why they put their garage door opener on their forehead.
I don't know why you put a target on your head. Why would you put a spot to aim for on your head? I would never do that. So Dewine has yet to endorse Vivek, and neither has GOP Attorney General, or the Ohio State Attorney General, Dave Yost. And I think maybe if we hear this clip from them, we had a couple of them in there. Both of them in this clip. This is from Morgan, our girl Morgan. on News Channel 5. And there's a couple clips from them. And I think we can parse out why maybe after. Here we go.
Back in February, Yost told us that Ramaswamy wasn't experienced enough to lead Ohio.
I have a proven track record. He's got a couple of books and some speeches.
Now, he and Governor Mike Dewine are some of the only party leaders who haven't endorsed Ramaswamy. Dewine wanted the voters to choose the Republican nominee, not the party.
Is it bad for Ohio that there is no primary, really?
It's what it is. I mean, I've been in politics a long time, and I've been in many races, and most of the time, many times I had a contest in the primary. I usually did. That's sort of the norm. It would appear, at least, and we haven't hit the filing deadline yet. Maybe somebody come out and runs.
Ramaswamy has previously told us that having a primary opponent would show division.
We are more united as a Republican Party than we've ever been.
Although Ramaswamy was neither Dewine's nor Yost's choice, both say they will end up supporting whoever the party's nominee is.
Well, so they, they're gonna support it. They're just still in discussions with Vivek.
It's the old guard not wanting the new blood in there.
Yeah,
and I don't think Vivek is. I think he's gonna be a lot of things said, but nothing done.
Very possible
candidate.
I think,
as far as I can tell, but
I think it might be. I think it could be.
I never liked
things,
Dave Yost.
Right.
If I go back to like when I first learned about him and saw what he was doing, I didn't really like him. I thought he was very like neocon.
Yeah,
and he changed his tune when he kind of saw the writing on the wall when Trump was when it was becoming more of a America First type of voter base, which is good. I'm glad he did that, but at the same time, I wouldn't trust him as governor, at least.
Yeah, but as far as Yost and Dewine go, I think it's here's the quote from Dewine. "We're still having discussions," Dewine said. I want to have a better understanding of his positions, what his vision is, and I would say the discussions have been good, and I'm sure I want to talk to him about some of the things I see as well. Some other things I see as well.
Have you seen that Wascally Wabbit?
I have.
Is that the discussion he's having?
No, I think the discussion is probably more like, "What have you done for me? What can you do for me?"
Yeah.
What can you do? Maybe this is what you're talking about.
Hey, there's something awfully screwy going on around here.
There's something a little screwy going around here. But I think that's what position can you give me? What position can you give my daughter or my wife or
could be
somebody? I want somebody in your administration that represents me or whatever else. Yost is a whole another story. He, in this article, he was planning on running against. He thought he was going to run against Houston for the Republican nomination, and then when Vance got picked for VP, and then Houston got put in his position. Now, then Vivek, and he. But why'd you back out? Why'd you back out?
Well, because the GOP endorsed Vivek, so he had no choice really.
He's a party. He's a party
loyalist.
Party loyalist for sure.
Yeah, but old guard party loyalist.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. And but I think Yost wants to be in part of his administration or wants some kind of power because right now he doesn't have anything. And I think that's part of what Dewine. That's always what it is for these guys. Well, I'm not going to endorse you until we talk. Oh, what you need to figure out what his positions are. Do you really, Dewine? I don't think you do. Yeah, I think they're both looking for something for their endorsement. That's kind of where I landed with that. And then late in the week, we got a new addition to the race, Tom.
Oh, my goodness.
We got a new addition to the race. We have an American First candidate enters the Ohio governor race, challenges Trump-endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy's Ohio.news story. And I think we got this. Somebody sent this video to us or something, maybe?
Yeah, a listener tagged me in a thing on Twitter or X that this guy is running against Vivek. So I guess he's going to try to win the primary.
He has a YouTube channel. His name is Casey Pooched.
I'm not sure. I haven't. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, he's a car guy. He's got Casey the Car Guy or something as his channel.
Something like that, yeah.
And I ran across him a month or so ago. I can't remember why.
Randomly,
came up.
Yeah.
And it was nothing about cars. So as he put it in some of his videos I've watched, he's been crashing out lately on his car channel, talking about politics. And I think, I figured let's get a little bit from Casey and see what he's all about. I could tell you one thing. He really does not like Ramaswamy. He really does not like Ramaswamy. And I think from my view of Casey is he seems to be very much a all or nothing kind of guy. It almost feels like if you disagree with him on any major issues, you're done. You're done. But we'll get into that in a second. But here's what he has to say about Vivek. Here's clip number 1.
So Vivek, if you think being an American is all about ideals, in a sense, you're right. Because we have the ideals that we can actually work hard, create something of value, help our fellow man, and have a future. And we want leaders who will protect that for us, who will fight for that to exist. We don't want some jerk that was raised by people from some foreign land with a dissimilar culture to come in and destroy our future while he pisses in our face and tells us it's rain.
Yeah, he's a little hot.
We're tired of you. You ran for president a couple of years ago. You didn't poll as well as Chris Krispy Kreme Christie, so you bounced out to ride Donald Trump's coattails for all of eternity while using his talking points. Hopefully buying your way on every single podcast so that you can make people think you're special when you're not and you've done nothing. So you get into do Doge, which is arguably one of, if not the most important thing for the United States, but that doesn't work for you, right? It's going to be too hard, too much pushback. Maybe you couldn't get along with Elon and his guys. Maybe you couldn't get along with Trump and then, weirdly you're out. But no, it's okay because you spent millions of dollars campaigning on behalf of Donald to ride his coattails, so he's going to have to give you Ohio as a consolation prize. And that probably explains why all your tech bro buddies, all the podcast people that you bought out, and the gutless GOPs that can't stand up to that, because at least we were happy that Donald got in when he did, because we think this is going to go somewhere, all endorsed you. And now they're stuck with you. But here's the thing. Ohio's not. Because the only thing a state are the people.
Wow, that was a rant, wasn't it? He does not like Vivek.
No, he doesn't. He's got valid points.
He's got some good points. He does have some good points. But here's where I'm not sure. I think I ran across this video because he's lost his faith in the Trump administration, and he went on a rant at one point that I watched about MAGA and all this other stuff. And then in one of the other videos I was watching, he mentions, so he took his Trump flag, pulled it off, and burned it.
He's like a girl.
Because of Israel and the Epstein files. Yeah. So apparently, is he on the bandwagon of Trump's a pedophile? Maybe. But definitely Israel. And here's another one. So here's what he has to say about the MAGA movement.
Conservatives in America have found themselves split by the Republican Party. In one corner, we have a ship of thieves with a powerful engine and no rudder. In the other corner, a ship of warriors with a direction but no engine. Which one are you in? So what are the two ships that I mentioned? Well, the one that's got a powerful engine but no rudder, that's a ship of thieves. That's where you're finding old Trumpy. He's in that ship. He's the captain. You're finding the Zionists that have their hand so far up the ass of every politician that they're wiggling their eyeballs. And that's a bit revolting to a lot of people when you look at it objectively. The MAGA crowd fits in there as well, because it seems that they just want power. They don't really care how they get it and are just going to follow Trump. And that the words "Make America Great Again" have become subjective to be whatever he wants, rather than thinking of what is specifically only in America's best interest. That's objective. But Trump and MAGA and that ship of thieves are using it to be subjective. Nothing really wrong with that.
Except,
with the exception of how he campaigned. And that's not what we're getting at all.
None of it at all.
So the other ship, the ship of warriors, with a direction, with a rudder, but no engine, no wind in their sails, if in fact it was a sailing vessel. Well, I can relate to that. How many of you can relate to that?
Yeah. That's what I mean by all. We're not getting any of what he campaigned on at all.
Yeah, that's not true. This guy is like douchey.
Yeah, he makes great points, especially on Vivek. And like some of the stuff I didn't even know.
Yeah, no. He's got valid gripes about Vivek. This guy is like, I don't know.
Something.
I like his policies. I went to his website. He's got good policies. It's mostly, Make America Great type of policies. America First, if you want to call it that. And which is good. But I just don't think this guy's genuine. I think he tries to get clicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a good way to get Amy Acton as governor as well.
He tries to run as a third party. Yeah, for sure. But actually, I don't know, because I don't think he would get more than 1 to 1.5%.
Yeah, so, he would have to grow a lot in order to be a
which I don't think he has. He doesn't have the charisma or the gumption to do that. This guy is. I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
I don't see him being governor. I don't see. I know our listener sent this and he was kind of excited, and I just think he's kind of this guy's basically a douchey guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got good intentions. I just think his delivery is.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you think maybe it's just for clicks, but I think he's just
for sure.
He's pissed and he doesn't know how to express it correctly. This might be how I sound on the show without any discipline. I could see myself going off on like this, but it doesn't come across very well. And I'm going, okay, great point, but I still want to punch you in the face a little bit.
There's a lot of things that Trump, he does make you want to do that. I think Trump. There are things that Trump hasn't done yet that I really was hoping he would, but I mean, so far overall, I've been pretty happy. The Epstein list. I don't know. Did we talk about it on the show at all?
I think we did a little bit. And the fact that, go ahead.
I basically said that's never really going to come out. Is there really a list? I mean, are you going to really put world leaders on, in a list? That what's going to happen when, it already kind of happened. Wasn't one of the CEOs or board members on, he got kicked out basically. So what if there's like 20 more? What happens to the stock market? What happens to world leaders that you're trying to negotiate trade deals with if they're on a list, so-called list? It's very short-sighted. I want people to pay for what they've done.
Yeah. I think we're low. I think we're too late. That ship has sailed.
That's the thing. And the other thing is, it's like, just because they're in the files doesn't mean they're guilty. So why would you want to put out a bunch of names that might be in the files that really didn't do anything wrong besides maybe using his plane or maybe they had dinner or something, who knows? I'm
following along the same as I think if there was a list, can you trust it at this point? It's been 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
and if there was one, there's no way either it's completely gone or anybody who of any substance is already off that list. There's no way these people that have all the power. We're talking about people we don't even know who they are. Not George Soros. There's people above George Soros, in my opinion, that we don't even know who they are.
I agree, and
they're not on that list anymore. It's gone.
Yeah. That first of all, there was no list. There's probably,
there's some videotapes maybe and stuff like that, and court documents. Yeah,
court documents and stuff. That might have names in there, but
And then the Israel thing, which I don't know. This Israel thing's been happening for every administration.
I was going to say Trump. Sorry. I'm sorry. Trump never ran on those. On the Epstein list. He never ran on that.
Good point. Very good point.
People asked him if he would, and he was like, yeah, okay. He didn't know.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, whatever, I'll release it. Yeah.
Pretty much, that's what it was. Anyways.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Israel?
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Israel, I think this has happened for every administration. Something in Israel always happens. It's one thing you know is a new president, something's going to pop off in Israel. And I don't know. I think if you look at the past, it's not perfect, I think, but it's done. It's over. Not that it's completely over, but I mean is usually this drags out for years and years and years. And with his influence, I think it's been cut short, way shorter than it was. I don't agree with everything that happens over there. I honestly don't care what happens over there to some extent, to a lot of extent, but it's not an all or nothing thing for me. Like this is for me, this seems like he's just all or nothing. And that's fine. You don't have to agree with Trump. I'm just saying, but because of one or two things that you're like, oh, he hasn't given us anything. Okay. I mean, I think you're wrong.
That's why I think this guy is mostly...
he just clicks you maybe?
Yeah. Raise money. What happens when you raise money to run with that money?
If it goes to your campaign, I don't think you could spend it on anything but campaign funds.
Yeah, but that's
pretty loose.
After you drop out,
I'd have to look. I'm trying to remember off of different things. I don't know if you can spend it on yourself. I think you could spend it on other. If you can suspend your campaign, I think that's a lot of them. They suspend their campaign. That money could sit there in case you want to start a campaign again.
Well, okay,
and you could be for anything though.
What if you just drop out? I mean, if he doesn't, is he ever going to run?
That's a good question.
Is your bank account all of a sudden loaded with a couple extra $1 million?
I want to say no, but I'm not sure. I want to say there's some rules around it.
There
but
is.
I don't think they're hard to get around. Like you can only pay. Maybe you can only use it for campaign stuff. But if your wife is still your campaign manager, and can you still pay her?
Yeah.
If your cousin, whoever does that, wife. But you know what I mean. So there's ways around it, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean. We see that a lot with presidential campaigns. They just run. They get this big treasure trove and sell a book or something like that. And
watch more car videos.
Yeah. It will get more clicks. Well, get more clicks. It will lose them some clicks too as well. But right now, it's probably a net positive for him right now.
Yeah. But if your channel starts stalling, I've seen this happen where there was immense growth and they were making good money, and then all of a sudden you don't have the growth because you've kind of
COVID.
I wasn't going to say COVID. I was going to say your channel sort of kind of became what it is, and there's really no more growth.
Right. I think COVID inflated all those numbers, and then maybe that's
perhaps. But I'm thinking of channels like Wrangler Star. Who got huge. And I think he was huge before COVID.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's really not much more you can do with homesteading. I mean, how many times are you going to talk about putting up a fence?
Right. Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, then he becomes more like a survival guy who's shooting guns and talking about prepping and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it's a little bit more government stuff. And then it's not the same channel, because I think channels eventually kind of plateau and it's hard to keep people coming back.
Yeah, that is a problem with especially YouTube channel or channels in general, that be podcasts or whatever that are, I mean, you're almost a slave to the channel and everything has to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's, nothing was bigger than locking everybody down during COVID for the prepper channels.
Sure,
every week the apocalypse was coming, and after a while you're just like, okay, no, I'm not going to click on that.
It's probably a good time to start talking about government issues too.
Yeah.
Censorship, all that stuff that was happening. So channels kind of took a different route, but I think a lot of them just had to.
Yeah. I think, so you can say outrageous stuff. You could say harsh stuff. Trump does.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he does it is, he doesn't sound mad a lot of times when he says it. And in this case, he sounds, I get it. I'm mad too a lot of times, but it doesn't sell.
The thing is, I don't want people talking at me.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like any of the people that do that. I want them to tell me what's going on, but I don't want them talking at me like they're right and I'm wrong, or there's no other opinion.
Yeah, it is yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I get it. Like I said, I don't want to just. His points are valid. A lot of them. I just. So I don't want to totally crap on him. But
yeah, not yet.
But maybe. We'll see. We'll follow along. We'll see what else he has to say. I can't get through a video because it's just he just rants for 45 minutes.
Yeah. No, he's not a very interesting listen.
But I do want to look into some of the things he brings up. And before I forget, last time I forgot. Last time we talked about Vivek or Ramaswamy, whatever you want to call him. I forgot to bring this up, but I've talked to some people who are who I respect and trust when it comes to especially local politics. Friends of mine, and they have great concerns about Vivek. And one of them was they feel he's been surrounded by Kasich people. That
could be, yeah.
And those are a lot of people running his campaign, the same people that ran Kasich's campaign.
Okay. All right.
I haven't dug too far into it to see like at what extent this is, but just a hint of Kasich makes me go, ew.
Well, you know what? We just beat up Casey. We need to beat up Vivek a little bit because there are.
For sure.
That I was thinking we were going to do that closer to when the primaries are.
Yeah,
happening.
We can touch on. We could. What some of his gripes is? Did Vivek take Soros money?
Well,
to get through college,
he mentioned that. All right, but who cares? He was in college. It was. I looked it up. It was from the Soros George's brother and wife.
They gave Vivek
tuition money.
They gave him directly tuition money from their pocket. It wasn't like from a group that they ran.
No, it's from a foundation.
Okay.
It was from a foundation.
It's different than the way he puts his Soros money.
No, it's BS to put it that way because it was a foundation. It was tuition money for minorities, basically. I believe. So why wouldn't you take that? It doesn't mean he's intertwined with Soros. If somebody offered me $93,000 or whatever it was to pay for my tuition, you think I'm turning that down when I'm 19 years old?
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't care who it comes from. And at that point, did he even know who Soros is?
Right. Probably not. Did his parents? I don't know. Maybe, but it's probably
doubtful.
Unlikely.
Doubtful. Maybe, but
yeah.
What reality would anybody turn that down? Yeah. Unless at 19 or 20, 21, whatever age you are, you're like sitting there going, I can't take this. I'm going to run for governor. They're going to think I'm part of the Soros family, No,
and he busts on him a lot for not making anything. What are his businesses? There's a lot of tech businesses. That's probably a valid point to some extent.
I think his first, where he made his billion or not millions, he's like a 500 million worth, something like that. And I think it was from a pharmaceutical thing. And it was kind of skeevy how he made that money, which is what I wanted to kind of eventually when we beat up on him a little bit. That's kind of one of the things I want to
look into that. Where is he getting his funding? Where did he make his money and how did he do it? That's important to me because it's important on how you're going to run the state. I think maybe could you give you some insight? A couple things though. He busts on him for he's only American because he was born here.
A lot of people are only American because they were born here. I'm only American because I was born here.
Is that right? Oh, I thought one of your parents was a citizen. No? Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but my father wasn't.
Right. Yeah. But even if either of them were,
okay, but
you're not a citizen. I had thought about that because when you said it, I immediately thought of you guys and my wife, of course. My wife being your sister, and but it's not quite, but it's very close. And even if both your parents were immigrants, legal immigrants, I don't know if that makes you less of an American.
Not if they were trying to assimilate. I mean, if you're sitting there on the dole American taxpayer dollar, and you're just kind of like, some refugees that aren't trying to assimilate into the community, then I might have some issues with that. But I don't think his
and then the next one is this data center thing, which we'll talk about data centers later, but we'll probably touch on that when we talk about the governor's race a little bit more in depth. But that's the other thing you brought up. But yeah, what's he doing without? Is he going to help the data centers? Is he going to slow them down? Is he going to, are we going to have a problem with that? Because the governor is not going to be, anyway. So we'll look into it more. But this guy's pretty, he's at least interesting. He's at least interesting.
Yeah.
And he's bringing up good points. So I'm not completely throwing shade on him, but
I think his personality makes me want to beat up on him.
Yeah. That's why, like I was saying, Trump could say some abrasive stuff, but the way you say it, if it, it can make a difference. And I think, and he doesn't care, which is great. I guess you're getting, but I mean, if you really want a lot of people to vote for you, you kind of have to care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, you have to be like you have to be like a Trump. You have to be a character. This guy's not that.
Yeah. And we'll follow along. If he has anything interesting, we'll bring it up. And to round out the election, just to touch base, we have Republican Treasurer of State candidate is Robert Sprague. He's put his name in the race. LaRose is term limited out for the treasurer of the state of Ohio. So we are going to have a new treasurer here. Right now, he is not the only candidate. There is one other candidate, Marcel Stribich. Is that the guy
which I like him.
He's the guy from, have I seen him on YouTube?
I just like him because he follows us on X.
Oh, no, that's the different. Okay, that is the guy. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, it's not the guy I was thinking about. But yeah, I have seen him on X. He is also one of the people going for the primary, Marcel Stribich.
Right.
He's a Republican primary. It's going to be May 5th. The winner will face one of the two candidates from the Democratic Party, Brian Humbley and Allison Russo. That's a name we've heard before in Ohio politics. Russo,
yes. I don't know.
He was like a treasurer or secretary of state. I think I used to see him on he's the guy who's on the sticker of all the certifications for gas pumps. So,
is it that guy?
I don't know if they're related, but that's the Russo that I know of. Is always on the sticker.
Okay.
Russo signed by whatever Russo because he was
right. I thought it was auditor. Chris Russo or something like that.
Yeah, it's not the same one. I may be related, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a common name, so it's probably not. But that's what I thought of. So he's running, and he's basically, from what I could see, looks to kind of resume at least some of the work that LaRose has been doing with the voter rolls. He wants you to be upfront. I want to move to a upfront end citizenship check that you have to pass before you're able to be put on the voter rolls in the state of Ohio. So it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
See what else he has to say about it. We'll keep following that along. I'm sure once the primary comes along, we'll get a little bit more on that. And if you've heard anything you like, please let us know. Crookedrivercast.com, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. You can send us an email. You can check out all the stories that we talk about and we look at and we read in our blog post every Monday on the website, Crooked Rivercast. If there's anything that you don't like, just keep that to yourself. We're good. But please, thank you for listening. Share the show with your friends. Send them a link if you know of anybody else who might be interested in some Ohio news. And two guys complaining on the internet.
The guy in the gas tanks was Dave Yost before, and currently there's Keith Faber. So, yeah.
Oh, so it is the Attorney General is the one who's on that. So there was a Russo eventually.
No. That was when Dave Yost was the auditor. I believe
auditor.
It's,
Okay,
I believe
auditor.
it's the auditor that's on.
Okay, state auditor. There you go. That makes sense.
Yep.
All right. So let's keep moving. Next, we have a story here from, where's this story from? Oh, it's from News Channel 5. And this is basically a little catch up on what's going on with tariffs. I actually have two stories here, competing stories, it sounds like. Ohio farmers see 1 year 74% loss in Chinese sales due largely to Trump tariffs, report shows. And basically this report goes on and starts giving you all the lowdown, and Ohio farmers lost bigly with Trump tariffs, apparently. So Trump
I think there's a pretty good bailout coming for them.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah.
I think there's also maybe some let's look in the mirror here for a second. And maybe we're a little too reliant on exports. So half of soybeans that we grow in Ohio, we export 50%, which goes to international markets, which is totaling about $1.8 to $1.9 billion in 2023 of soybean exports. So apparently, with the tariffs, they lost nearly 76 million of their exports to China this year compared to 1 year earlier. Now that's coming back because they've ironed out the tariffs. And I think there's a 20% tariffs on our soybean going to China, and they are buying it again apparently. But,
yeah, happened about a month ago, right?
Yeah, but that short kind of stoppage kind of threw them for a loop. I would hope they can use this as a teachable moment, as Obama would say, and maybe look at diversifying a little bit.
Well, the monocrops are an issue.
Yeah, maybe grow something that Americans can buy and eat.
Right.
And on the next story, which ties in just as a counter to that, is the U.S. trade deficit shrinks to 5-year low as exports surge under Trump tariffs. So according to this report, trade deficits fall 35%. Exports climbed 6%, boosting the GDP by 1%. The budget gap has cut in half, it says. This is basically Ohio Press Network touting the tariffs that have come into play that Trump has put in, and it's cut the trade deficit in half, which was kind of his goal, wasn't it?
Yep.
And anything else here that we
I don't know. Things are moving as far as tariffs go. They're all moving, and it's all moving in the right direction.
It is.
So everybody was pretty much panicking, and it made me cringe a little bit too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to deal with, but as everybody's seen, just because there's a 30% tax on something doesn't mean it's going to go up 30%. It's right. One part of a 1,000 part something that has 10 parts in it, so it's not a 1-to-1 thing. And everybody, of course, the media freaking everybody out. You're going to pay more. You're going to pay 20% more for your doll. Wow. And then Trump said, of course, well, maybe you don't need $14. Maybe just $3. Maybe we need a little less crap in our houses and a little bit more money in our savings account.
Maybe you don't need to spend $4,000 going to a concert.
You don't need to spend I mean, to your point, great tie-in. I didn't even think about that. That's a lot of what this guy talks about. Caleb Hammer. It's like, what do you? The biggest thing he said: trucks, truck payments.
That is true. Yeah,
guy's always got to have his truck. 60,000, 70,000.
Do you need a new truck?
One video that popped in probably because of the algorithm was a guy. It was a different channel, but a financial guy that went to Disney to ask people at Disney while they were there how much debt they had. Oh, it's quite amusing. Jeez. Oh, I've got $150,000, including my student loan debt. What are you doing at Disney?
God.
What are you doing at Disney?
Yeah,
how long does it take you to pay that off? Never.
You're
never going to pay that off.
You got to take some real action to do that.
Yeah, you actually have to pay on it.
Yeah.
And most of them weren't because it was still on the moratorium thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And you have to pay extra on it if you really want to pay it off.
Same with regular, credit card debt. You're not going to get out of that unless you really try to hammer it away.
And they give that to you now on a lot of these statements. If you pay the minimum, I think that's
they have to.
Now.
That was a Bush thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to tell them how long. And he goes through it. They show, this $4,000 debt is going to take you 15 years to pay off or something.
Yeah. If you pay minimum, it's 15 years.
Something crazy. 8, 9, 10, 12.
It is good, but who looks at that anymore now that everything's digital?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the tariffs are working to some extent, at least.
Yeah.
It's not the reason why the Five Guys burger is $14. It's not because of that.
I am kind of looking forward to next year. I think the economy is going to take a pretty good turn.
Oh, you think it's going to turn?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the reserves for the oil reserves are filling up. They're getting filled up, and I think they're going to once they're filled up, I think gas is going to drop a little bit more. I think we'll be in the 250 range, even in the summer. Or maybe where we're at now will be what's in the summer.
And then the
winters will drop down to 250.
Okay.
Which that's a big deal for as far as like overall costs for like, well,
affordability.
Yeah, well, food's got to get to grocery stores, and it gets there using gas. So.
Using trucks mostly. Yep. Good point. It all work. I mean, in my business, it's constant. Every couple months, they adjust the fuel surcharges for trucks.
Sure. Yeah, I get
Hundreds of dollars per truck per delivery. Full truck, a full semi costs you $400 or $500. Maybe not now. I think it's down in the 200s, depending on the company. But at one point, they were $300-400 for fuel surcharges.
Right.
Freaking crazy. All right, so just a couple things, I guess. Did I get through everything on here? So yeah, 50% of our exports are soybean. 50% of our soybeans are exports. We're ranked 6th in the United States, but we don't just give them to China. We give them to Europe, Mexico, Egypt, Japan. So we do a lot of soybean stuff.
Yep.
All right, I guess that settles that one. Tariffs are, like we talked about, they're going to be some pain, but in the long run, we should be better off. And hopefully we're getting to the long run part. Next on our list, we have a little follow-up from Lorain County. If anyone doesn't remember, Lorain County has been going around and around with the New Russia Township zoning board. So the zoning board has been trying to get a bunch of land rezoned for what they call a mega site, which is just code, I guess. It's lame code for data centers. They want to rezone it for industrial, commercial, whatever, so they can attract data centers. And the citizens have kind of been pushing back. They've got no mega sites, signs all over the place. They're popping up. Not the only place I've gone. I went to Toledo last week, and I saw them all over. No data center, no data centers, no meta, that kind of stuff.
That is good to see.
Yeah. So they're pushing back. So the board of commission, the New Russia Township Zoning Board Commission did not vote on a recommendation surrounding the future of the 7 parcels of land for residential and agriculture to industrial park zoning.
I'll tell you what, man. there was a house we were looking at a few years ago in New Russia Township. It was on 10 acres. It was pretty nice. And if we bought that and
yeah, it might be in that.
This was happening, I would have been fuming.
I have a customer / friend that is kind of he's going to be working at a data center that's right by his house. So he's like, okay, this is work, but it's right by my house. So he's got a very love-hate relationship with the data center that's going up in his area. And I'm as I keep telling everybody, I finally found an advantage of living in the suburbs over the rural communities. I don't have data centers popping up in my backyard.
Yeah, but you have no backyard.
But I have a small backyard, yes.
Yeah.
Very small, comparatively speaking.
Usually.
To my friend, yeah, he's got a couple acres in his backyard.
Yep.
So they had a zoning commissioning meeting last week, I think it was. And about 100 people. It was a packed house. And they decided to, well, I think what they did was kick the can down the road. So let's play the sound. This is the clip from News Channel 5 about the commission. They got a couple of clips or a couple of sound bites from the actual meeting. And then the end is interesting. For me, at least. Here you go.
News 5 first started following this story in July when County Commissioner Dave Moore talked about a $67 million grant to go towards the proposed mega site. Months later, Team NEO told us the end user would bring new jobs and long-term investment, which is around the same time a petition started circulating in October with several thousand signatures and hundreds of signs saying no mega site. Now the debate continues.
And I'd like to make a motion for a continuance.
The Special Zoning Commission meeting will be held on January 5th at 6 to vote on this proposed plan's recommendation. For News 5, I'm Remy Murray reporting.
Let's see here. You've got 100 people or more at your board of commission or county zoning board, whatever it is, commission, that you usually have nobody at. I would bet like 4 people usually show up. So you've got a bunch of people there. I guess I didn't pull the clip where they had some sound bites from it, from the actual meeting, from the citizens. But they decided to table it until January 5th. Let me see here. I'm thinking it might be, is it this one? Nope, this one.
Hey,
that's the one.
There's something awfully screwy going on around here.
It's not Thanksgiving anymore.
Hey.
It's not Thanksgiving anymore. I guess I shouldn't be playing the gobble gobble. But so you've got all these people here where you normally have none, almost none. What is the difference? What are you going to accomplish by delaying it a week and a half or 2 weeks till after the holiday?
They're hoping people don't show up.
January 5th, there'll be almost nobody at this meeting. I think maybe not for this one because
they're riled up. It's good.
Yeah. So they might, but I would probably bet they're not going to get the same turnout.
No, I bet you they'll get more.
You think they'll get more?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'm kind of curious because the more signs pop up, the more the word gets out. They might get more.
Because what other reason is there to delay it? What information are you going to come up with over the holidays that's going to change your mind or move the vote at all?
Nothing. They just want to delay. They're hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were going to keep an eye on that thing, and
I hope there's a couple of residents, community people that are like really organizing.
It seemed like in the meeting there was quite a few people that were speaking and made a couple good points. You know, the one woman said, "Look, this is 7 parcels of land. It's not empty, vacant lots. This land is all producing. It's agricultural. It needs to stay that way. It's not just dead old houses that you're tearing down to make new. No, you're taking away valuable farmland that's been producing food for decades, generations." So the other guy was like, "What's the rush? You don't know what's going to go there. Why you rush to change the zoning before you have anybody to even zone it for?"
Oh, they see dollar signs in their eyes.
Oh yeah, and then they had the actual developer was there. It's like, look, we could. He kind of made a comment that they could actually kind of develop on it the way it is now, the way it's zoned now. So I don't know what that's all about, but I imagine it put some handcuffs on them, so maybe they couldn't do as much. But so we'll keep an eye on that.
Maybe that's the delay to get lawyers to figure out a way to do it anyways.
Do it anyways. Good point. Might be a good point. I like it.
I don't know.
Shenanigans.
Yep.
Oh wait.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Yeah, I pulled that one. All right, next one, staying on data centers. Yes, this is a NBC, looks like, Channel 4. I'm not sure where they're out of. Where's this? Columbus. At least the story's out of Columbus. This is report links Amazon data centers to miscarriages and rare cancers, drawing concerns about data centers' presence in Ohio. So this is according to, it is a report by the Rolling Stones. So there's that. But
when it comes to that stuff, I
environmental stuff,
I'm kind of like, okay, let's hear what you got. Because if you got actual like studies, I want to know about them.
Yeah, so they're saying they've got the report kind of bringing up health concerns in other places in the country. One of them in Morrow County in Oregon. Like dangerous levels of nitrates in the county's water supply to the presence of Amazon data centers. The report alleged that the data centers' immense water demands made nitrate seep into the area's underground water supply faster than it could be filtered out, leading to miscarriages, rare cancers, and other complications. Amazon strongly denies the connection. I'm sure they do.
They have to.
Yeah. Data centers have been linked to health concerns far beyond the scope of Rolling Stone's report, worrying some Central Ohioans, according to datacenters.com. Amazon has 28 data centers in Central Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, mostly near New Albany, Hilliard, and Dublin. And in all data center map tallied 133 data centers in Central Ohio, more than half of Ohio's 215 data. Every time I see that number, it goes up. It's now 215 data centers. Last time it was 203 or something like that.
Wow.
It depends on what stage they're in, and if they're being built or projected. I'm sure that changes a little bit. So I don't know if they have any concrete studies on that it's actually causing this. What they're saying is they have an increase in pollutants, nitrates to be specific, and it all coincides around the time that data centers started coming up. And the fact that they're using an immense amount of water, loads. So the video that's actually embedded in this story has nothing to do with the actual story itself, other than it talks about data center water usage, which I did watch, and it's quite astounding the amount of water some of these places are using on a daily basis.
5 million gallons a day.
Could be.
Rolling Stone alleged 68 of the 70 Oregon wells tested had nitrate levels that violated federal safety threshold. And we kind of know, most of the time I assume those thresholds are probably a little higher than they need to be.
Probably.
Of the first 30 homes officials visited, they heard of at least 25 miscarriages and 6 people who had kidney removed. So,
wow,
got to keep an eye on this.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to have a baseline before you get data centers. What's the water like? What's your health like?
I think the residents need to fight the good fight here.
Yeah, and like in Lorain, they're seeing this kind of stuff.
One thing I've noticed about rural residents is they're very proud to be in rural counties, townships, and stuff. So I hope they. But the problem is many of them don't really pay attention. So I hope they're starting to pay attention, and
I hope they're listening to Crookedrivercast.
There's that. Yeah, they need to rally and kind of round up the community and
get
make
informed.
Sure. Yep.
Going on down the article, it says, according to Ohio EPA's Central Ohio Regional Water Study, Central Ohio water districts with the worst water quality do see some correlation with data center hotspots. Well, there's not enough data for a defined connection. Well, okay. Let's move on to our next story, which is tied in the same, is the Ohio EPA. This is great. The Ohio EPA looks to streamline water permits for data centers. Huh. Streamline? What does that mean? Let's listen to this idea stream. I think this is actually an NPR report, which I apologize ahead of time. It is NPR, but let's see what they have to say about this Ohio data. What's streamlining mean? Let's see.
The Ohio EPA is looking to streamline the way water permits are issued to data centers as they continue popping up around the state. You're listening to 91.7 WVXU on the NPR app. I'm Isabel Nisley. The Ohio EPA has issued a draft general permit to regulate wastewater discharges from data centers.
Wastewater.
UC Law professor Brad Mank says this is a change from the detailed individual permits data centers currently have to submit before releasing pollutants into waterways.
General permits make it a lot easier for industry to operate without many restrictions. They just basically have uniform restrictions that apply to everybody. So they can just basically send a postcard saying we're operating our business and that's all they have to do.
Some environmental advocates say they're worried this will leave out reviews that ensure public health and safety.
Holy
the
crap,
Ohio
I agree
EPA
with them.
says the move is necessary to support social and economic development. The draft permit is open for public comment online through Wednesday. Isabel Nisley, 91.7 WVXU.
I feel like we got some common ground here, Tom, with the EPA and the environmental wackos a little bit. So the Ohio EPA wants to make it easier for data centers to dump crappy water into our water supply. Yeah, can we go back to, let's see. According to Ohio EPA Central Ohio Regional Water Supply, Central Ohio water districts with the worst water quality do see some correlation with data center hotspots. So now they have to specify, it sounds like, what they're dumping. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, they want to get more water easier.
Right.
So I'm tying it into this, like this report says in the NBC News Channel 4, talked about the cancer in data centers. Depending on the data center, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million gallons a day. So eventually that water, they do recycle a lot of them from what I understand, but eventually that water gets dirty. You can't recycle it forever. And then now I guess they have to stipulate what's in the water that they're dumping or clean it beforehand.
So they want to get rid of that.
They want to make it easier, more streamlined. Streamlined. Yeah. That's the key word there. Streamlined. Yeah. They want to make it easier, there's two different levels, I guess, of permitting. One, a very general one for just that says, hey, we're operating a business that's going to be putting, I don't know exactly, but I assumed it sounded like, here we're running this business and we're going to be, using the sewers. And then the other one's like, we're going to be dumping, this is what we're dumping and this is what's in the water. Something like that. One way they have to tell the state what's being dumped, and the other way it doesn't seem like they do, or as much. I don't think, like, what? No. Why don't we want to know what's in this water? It's being pumped through computers that got all kinds of chemicals and metals and all kinds of stuff. What is wrong with you people? Come on.
You sound like a tree hugger, Rob.
I know, and it's pissing me off that they're making me sound like a tree hugger. That's what I'm stumbling over. It's like, God, really?
I think both me and you feel the same way about regulations. You need to deregulate, but this is not what you need to deregulate.
Deregulate with some, I think we're over-regulated in a lot of areas.
You're right.
But I think, keeping our water clean is one of the bonuses of the EPA. I think the EPA goes way too far, but there's a lot of things the EPA has done over the years to make our water better. I mean, the lakes are cleaner. So there does need to be some rules because greedy corporations will just dump crap in the river like they did for decades in the Cuyahoga County River, in the Crooked River. And I think that was one of the, now, 30, 40, 50 years later, they've gone way too far. They're way too big. But this is the Ohio EPA too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That does not seem like a good idea, people. Definitely does not seem like a good
Not
idea.
after that last article.
No. I mean, imagine they pump this water through computers to cool the chips and processors and stuff. I mean, it's got to have some, and eventually they can't use it forever, so that means it gets dirty. I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea, people. Like a really bad idea.
Yeah.
So I guess another thing we can take a look at, maybe something else will pop up. They're still debating it. So under a general permit, eligible data centers would have to submit a notice of intent form before discharging pollutants like heavy metals or corrosion inhibitors into waterways. Several discharges associated with data centers would not be authorized by general permitting, like discharge locations within 500 yards upstream of a public water supply. Currently data centers must apply for individual NPDES permits, which is detailed and unique to its operations. I think it needs to stay that way. Oh, it's the national NPDES is National Pollutant Discharge and Elimination System. Okay. So right now they have to apply for an individual basis, sounds like. I kind of think we should probably know what's in that. So in case we see something in the water supply, maybe somebody should be held accountable, like the company's dumping it into the water supply.
Mm-hmm.
Making me a tree hugger. That's a bunch of crap.
Well, yeah.
That's a bunch of crap. I mean, I like trees and all, but they make good houses and stuff. All right. Keep an eye on that, folks, and fight. Keep an eye out. I mean, watch what these data centers are doing, especially from the rural communities. Man, they're not. I'm starting to think there's not much good to them right now. We'll see, I guess. Next on this one a little more closer to home. Can you legislate a music industry in Cleveland? What do you think, Tom?
Nothing says rock and roll like a bunch of suits sitting there telling me what to do with my tax dollars for rock and roll.
That's totally rock and roll, man. Yeah. Stick it to the man. Wait. The man. Isn't that Ronaine? Isn't that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the Ohio Task Force for live music?
Well, Cuyahoga Live Task Force was not a government thing.
No.
And they weren't going to receive tax dollars. Now they want to try to figure out on how to save bars, basically. This is ridiculous.
Now, I guess the only thing I would say to that is in other areas they do have similar organizations, like a Tennessee Nashville.
Tennessee doesn't, not yet. Nashville.
Nashville.
No, it says it's coming, but it's
it's coming to Nashville?
Yeah.
What the hell do they need a commission for? What, they need more in Nashville?
You know what? I gotta look that up again real quick. No, they got a thriving thing there.
The tax break. There's a tax break they're talking about for studios.
Yeah,
it's not bad, but
tax break for studios is okay. I don't mind the tax break. I guess there was one thing I didn't like.
Pending in Tennessee, in Austin, that says, and like in Austin, and pending in Tennessee and Illinois, Smith wants Ohio to pass a bill that would give independent venues up to $100,000 back each year via state-monitored liquor tax rebate.
So basically, taxes are going to keep businesses open. I don't know. It's weird.
I can see how it doesn't. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. Getting a tax break is probably not going to hurt I just don't know how much it's going to spur more. To me, it's chicken and egg.
More talent?
But more talent, but people going.
How's it going to spur more talent?
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying maybe. I'm saying spurring talent. Are you going to get even if you can get the talent here? Can you get people to go?
Okay,
that's the other half of the equation, right?
There's a huge problem here. We've talked about this before when this first rolled out, the Cuyahoga Live Task Force. We kind of talked about it, and I think my conclusion was that you just don't have a network of musicians in town to have a thriving original music scene. You have enough talent to you could have a thriving music scene. It doesn't mean original music scene, though. It's two different things.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a good point.
And I guess, okay, I started playing in the 90s and played through 2010. And there was a massive decline over the years in people coming out to see the band was still did well, but there was a massive decline in patrons to music venues or bars that had bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that there's a couple of reasons I think we went over, or one of them was a crackdown on drunk driving. The other was the smoking ban.
Yep.
That was huge.
Yeah.
But I think there was a fall even before that, because I kind of I was always like the younger guy in the band, and listening to the guys that were, probably like a decade older than me, they always told me how great the 80s were. Late 80s, mid to late 80s. And I started in 1990, and it was booming. And you can actually go to your local pub or music store back then, or record store when we had those, and go pick up a scene magazine, which at the time was local, and it was this cool magazine that had bars advertised in there, and it was just an endless amount of coupon, or let's say like business card size ads from bars and music venues that listed what bands are playing. So it was easy to go find somebody to go.
Yeah, it was like the biggest thing. One of the biggest things you picked up a scene magazine for.
You had to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. We were young at that time, but you had to go get a scene magazine to know where to go see your favorite band, or maybe to go check out new bands. I just looked at the scene magazine. Yeah. Not a single ad from a bar for music. And the listing of music for from Thursday, it comes out on Thursday, and they have a listing a week's worth of music shows coming up. They're all national.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there to let you know.
Even to your point, I know I talked to my daughter's guitar teacher. He's in a few bands, but they're all cover bands, basically. I think it may be one band. They do some original stuff, maybe, or two. I don't know. But mostly it's all cover. Yeah.
In Cleveland, it's always been, if you want to stay like a working musician, you got to do covers.
Yeah.
If you want to do originals, you can blend. If you're in a band and you're doing covers, you can add. You can start mixing in your originals. I don't see what's wrong with that. But people just aren't. How many gigs can you play as an original band? I mean, you're not going to play weekly because unless you go from one side of town to the other side of town, and at that point, you're catering to your fans on one side of town, and you go to the east to west, and then maybe you go south. But I don't think you can have it's rare to have a big enough following to be able to do that being an original band in Cleveland, at least.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, I think you're spot on with that. I just don't I think if there were more, I think there would be more bars playing music if there were people. There was something there, you know what I mean?
When I was reading this, I was thinking back to the days of when right before I started gigging. So I was always picking up the music, the Scene magazine, and I was looking at bands and what kind of bands are playing. Man, we had the Cleveland Agora, because you had also the ballroom there,
Yeah.
And you had the Akron Agora. You
Akron,
had
Cleveland,
places.
Yep.
You had Flash Gordon's. You had the Symposium. You had the Peabody's down under Peabody's
front row.
Well, that's for national. I'm talking about I'm talking about all the local clubs. Cleveland Cafe,
Grog Shop, which they've mentioned in here.
Yeah, Grog Shop's been around for a while, but that place was a peon compared to what we had prior. Grog Shop came on late, a little later, and that's a tiny little hole in the wall.
It is a tiny little place.
But we had actual bars that were large that had real stages. And
it was the one in the flats that was on at the end. They had one Peabody's, maybe. They just had a lot of
Peabody's. No, they always had bands, and it was a good place to go see a live show. You had the Empire Music, and had which turned into the Odeon, I think. But those were national concert,
Odeon,
smaller type of things.
Yeah, I forgot.
I never got a chance to play those. You usually, maybe if you opened up for somebody, you could play there. I'm just talking about all the places that we had that local bands, and most of them were cover bands. No, not really. I'll take that back. A lot of them, late 80s and early 90s, you kind of still had the hair rock thing happening around Cleveland.
Oh, right.
So you did have a lot of bands that wanted to kind of break out of Cleveland. So they were grinding around here to get good enough, polishing their stuff up before they leave for LA or back then it was LA, that's where you had to go.
Yeah. To add, I got another scene story, just kind of adds to it, puts a little more background to it. Is only 1 in 4 Cleveland independent music venues were profitable last year, report says.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. That's kind of what I'm saying. If it feels like to me, there's not a lot of need or demand for it. The people, for some reason, don't want the live music because I think
there's a whole generation. I think
that's true. No, it's like we talked about before. The way music is nowadays, it's singles and instant gratification kind of stuff, and nobody's going to see live. Really, that's actually
there's a lot of things happening to this that they don't bring up in this article, and one of them is people drink less, which they do mention that.
Oh yeah,
they do mention that, but they're also not talking about that young people really don't give a crap about bands.
Yeah.
Younger people, and those are let's face it, we're in our 50s. We did this when we were in our 20s.
Yeah, 20s and 30s. That's when you're going to go to these places. And they're just not, because they don't have the need. They don't have the want. It doesn't seem like they care.
I don't think there's that. And then, there's a whole generation of not only they didn't care, they also didn't care to learn an instrument.
Yeah, there's that too. And most of the bands now, I don't know. They don't play a lot of instruments.
They talk about studios. I'm like, geez, Billie Eilish recorded her first album in her bedroom with her brother. I mean, you could do so much without having a real studio. I mean, that's a luxury nowadays.
Yes, I could record a album in my basement currently.
Yes,
if I wanted to.
Same here.
It would. Yes, even more than I could. But it wouldn't be a great album, but it would still be an album. To put it in perspective, Cleveland generates more than what the independent sector generates in Oregon and 28 other states. So apparently Cleveland does better. They're trying to compare it with like Portland and why Portland is doing so good with this and we're not. But then they brought up, well, we're not the worst. Oh, okay. Well, at least we're not last.
This all sounds like a Band-Aid that doesn't. It's a way to keep bars afloat without really addressing the issues.
Yeah, music needs to come back.
Music needs to come back. You need more musicians. There's a whiny bitch here at the end from the Beachland Ballroom owner, Cindy Barber, who's awesome. She's a huge advocate for original live music here in Cleveland. It's great. But she's talking about like this new band, Apostle Jones, and she's like, hey, look at these guys. He's like one of the most popular artists in town. Wouldn't it be great if we all came together and found enough money to put him on tour? Shut up. Shut up. That's not how this works.
Why are we going to put him on tour?
Yeah, they got to do that themselves, man.
Wait, he doesn't have enough money. He doesn't have enough people coming to his show to make it worthwhile for somebody to invest in his tour.
Exactly. So
the government should do it.
Yes. That's what I'm like so irritated about this. And it's such a soft, if this guy really truly believed in himself, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or at least be true. I mean, it's always been the fact as a struggling actor or struggling artist, you got in a band, you packed all your crap in the van, you slept in the van, you drove around the country and played and played and played and played and played. And so you got a following. You still have to do that. It's harder now, but.
She's talking about this Apostle. The name of the band is Apostle Jones.
Yeah.
And I took a listen. It's a talented bunch of musicians. They're not bad. But if you really want to do something, get the hell out of Cleveland. Get in your band van. If you don't have one, go get one. Repair it 8 times on the way to Nashville.
Yep.
Book jobs going down to Nashville. And start playing. Go to Florida. Travel.
Oh yeah. I was just watching the Flea interview on Rick Beato's channel, and that's where I'm coming up with this because I'm trying to remember who was just recently watching and talked about. Yeah, they had because he asked him, well, what do you think about your rise to success and all this other stuff? He goes, we didn't really notice it. We started in a van, we slept in the van, and then we got a U-Haul and then we slept in the U-Haul. And then when we got enough money for a hotel room, so we slept in the hotel room. And then we got a bus. And he said it happened so gradually. All before you know it, we were in a private jets and flying around the country. We didn't realize it was happening. But that's what they did. They got a van. All of them slept in the van. God, imagine the smell of that van.
Well, it's awful, dude.
Yes.
We called those because
starving artist.
Well, you could. That's the polite term. Mm-hmm. We called them road dogs because these bands just got in their van. They got all these festival gigs and they would sleep in their van. If they got lucky, they knew somebody in that town. Maybe they can go grab a shower at their place.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You grind. And that overnight success takes 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, there's no such thing as an overnight success. I guess maybe if you go on American Idol, there was that, with Kelly Clarkson and, a couple.
Was Taylor Swift on there? Yeah.
No, I don't think she was. No? A couple of artists kind of made it with that. But now, do you hear anybody about anything from any of those people that go on that show?
No.
Exactly. So.
Well, I don't, but I'm sure somebody does because they do get record deals, but they're not popular like they used to be because the show is, it's not what it is. And, I don't know.
Kelly Clarkson, the second one, it was another female. She was a blonde. She was she was a nice looking little.
I can't remember.
I forget her name.
Anyway, if you want live music, you got to go see it. If you want a vibrant live music community, people have to go. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much money or how much tax breaks the state or county does. People don't go. The bars are going to close. It's just plain and simple. And they should close. I'm sorry, but you want to be held up by House of Cards?
They mentioned this club, which I've been to a couple of times. This is not a club. It's a Happy Dog, is it called? Mm-hmm. Is that what they mentioned?
Yeah, I forget. Happy Dog and Grog Shop are the two they mentioned.
Okay, so Happy Dog, you go get yourself a hot dog and tater tots and go watch a band. This is not a music club. They sort of kind of billing themselves, but
they actually sell hot dogs there?
I think they sell hot dogs, and they're like well known for their hot dogs and tater tots.
Oh, okay. Then I have
and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never once seen an ad come across, a page, social media page or in Scene Magazine, anywhere that tells me who's playing there. So I have to go look for it. That's what. And now they're going to try. They're going to try to give this. They're going to try to give them $100,000 at the end of the year because they're not profitable.
Reasons.
Yeah.
There's reasons, Tom. Reasons.
Yeah. Go to hell.
Yeah. No.
And the musicians that gripe about this, go eat shit.
Eat a bag. I would say. Just a reminder. The county of Cuyahoga County is, I don't know, like $1 billion or $2 billion in debt, something crazy like that. So, keep your $100,000 and maybe put it towards our debt because it's not going to help. It's all that's going to do is delay the inevitable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Until music comes back, until music comes back to the younger generation, I think we're kind of stuck where we're at.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
All right. Yeah, it is. I mean. So the answer is no, you can't. You can't legislate a music industry. So let's move on, wrap up these final two stories here because they're both similar. We're both just going to make fun of the city of Cleveland and the city of Cincinnati. We'll start with Cincinnati. So the great city of Cincinnati has agreed to pay an $8 million settlement to BLM protesters from 2020.
I think they're paying it to the lawyers.
Well, they're definitely paying to lawyers. Oh, the lawyers always get the lion's share. Yeah. But according to the story, that most protesters would get between $10,000 and $13,000 for being arrested when they weren't supposed to be. Apparently, the scandal is the mayor at the time had put a curfew in place, and these people were arrested because of curfew violations, and that curfew was designated unconstitutional. So they should get $13,000. So, okay. Hey, city money, not my city. So
I would love to know who pushed this ahead. I bet you it was the lawyers because they're making $2 million on this.
Oh, at least. Oh, yeah. Does it say that in there?
Yeah, it says it.
Here's the question I have. Well, according to the city of Cincinnati, they were at no fault. It was not their fault. But
why are they paying?
Well, there's the question. Here you go. Here's the clip.
The settlement also included changes for CPD. Now, officers are required to use a standard dispersal order during civil disturbances. Councilman Scotty Johnson still backs the actions of officers.
The Cincinnati police did absolutely nothing wrong.
And he questions why Hamilton County, which operates the Justice Center, isn't paying nearly as much as the city.
I don't understand why this allegedly all took place in the Sallyport, the part of the jail that the county controls.
Your question?
Why Cincinnati is paying the brunt of this.
I got a question.
The county is only paying $65,000 of that settlement.
Why are you paying anything if you didn't do anything wrong? Unanimous approval by the county. Or by the city. Unanimous. Why? You didn't do anything wrong. They said it over and over again in the report. We didn't do anything wrong, but we're going to pay $8 million. Here's a kicker to it. They're borrowing the money. They're putting bonds up for the money because they don't have it. So how much is it actually going to cost Cincinnati? $10 million after interest?
They have $1 billion in gross debt. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And they're going to borrow $8 million to pay these yahoos. Most
drop in the bucket, Rob. Drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Most from the report I saw, most just young white women actually. Is what I saw.
Oh, okay,
There's Black Lives Matter protests with all white people there, which makes total sense. So this was during the George Floyd and all that fun stuff. 479 protesters were arrested for curfew violations during this protest. And his question is, why is the county only paying $60,000? I'm like, why are you paying anything? Dumas. And then, so there's Cincinnati. Go have fun with that. You get to pay, bunch of unemployed college kids then they'll get a check for $13,000. I hope they open it and go, where's all my money? Yeah, taxes.
Taxes and the lawyers.
Well, I think that's after the lawyers are going to get $13 million. Lawyers are going to get the rest.
13,000.
13,000. Yeah, 13 million.
13 million. I would have put my name in there.
Yeah, I'd be like, what protest? Where?
It was mostly peaceful. Come on.
Generally peaceful as they burnt cars that are going on unless they did that. But
I don't think they did that.
No, they didn't.
Let's see, not George Floyd. Elliot Isaac was the police chief at the time, and that was before they have the wonderful Teresa Thedich.
Oh, and the settlement keeps protesters' names confidential.
Of course.
Huh.
Those protesters can go to a couple of concerts.
So when your city's woke, go ahead and sue them because you're going to get it.
Yep.
That's what this was. None of them wanted to. I mean, you could tell these people were not happy about it. But hey, we're just going to say yes because that's what my handlers told me to do.
Yep.
So have fun with that, Cincinnati. That sucks. But I'm sure like Cleveland
same thing
or
would
Akron,
happen here.
Cleveland, Akron, Columbus, same thing would happen.
Yep.
Same thing would happen. Not just your city, it's all of them. And speaking of cities in Cleveland, this is the final one here. Parts of Cleveland are in the dark after thieves steal thousands of feet of street light wiring. I'm telling you, crime is fine. Nothing going on here. Oh, wait, I think I even have, wait for it. Yep, I got it. This is what's going on in Cleveland.
Move on! Nothing to see here! Please disperse!
As they're wrapping up thousands of feet of wire. So here's a clip. We have a clip here from the county. I think it's a city official. I think it says here in the report. One of the county board members are dark in Cleveland. Here we go.
Ward 12 Councilwoman Rebecca Maurer says she was shocked when she learned that thieves were responsible for the darkness.
Oh my gosh, we have been struggling for the last 6 months in Slavic Village with thefts of copper wires that have been connecting all the streetlights along Broadway. 4,000 feet of copper wires, what we have been told, has been ripped out of underground conduits between the different streetlights.
City leaders say about 70 poles up and down Broadway Avenue were damaged. Some repairs were made, but thieves appear to be breaking into pole boxes and ripping the wires out, which contain scrap metal like copper. Our 3 news cameras spotted this one in the neighborhood.
Nothing to see here.
This youth football team, the Southside Seahawks, had to stop practices at Morgana Park when it started getting darker this fall because there were no street lights. Coach Jamal Sani told me they hope to be back on the field under the lights and soon. Councilwoman Maurer has been working with him and many Slavic Village residents.
We need to get these streetlights turned back on, and we need CPP to offer the neighborhood clarity about whether they're going to reline all that copper wire, whether they restring it. Give the neighborhood a date that we can be accountable to and make sure that these lights get turned on by 2026.
Yeah, right.
Now, we reached out to Cleveland Public Power, and there's been no word back at the time of this broadcast. In the meantime, Councilwoman Maurer says she hopes for a full investigation into these thefts. Russ?
Okay, see you, New Yorker, here in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun with that, getting that investigation. So, I just have to ask, how does 4,000 feet of copper wiring, this is not light, I'm sure it's not just your normal 12 gauge wiring in your house or whatever. How does that go missing without anybody noticing? Nobody catching them? There's no video of anything?
And the way they're showing it, how did nobody see? How are there no cameras that saw this happening?
So one side of the street, lights come on because they're the style that are on the telephone pole.
Right.
The ones that are out are the old, they look antique-ish. They're like short, they're like the old style streetlights when we first had streetlights, apparently. So I'm guessing that's what it is. Those are the ones that they're stealing all because they can just open the box right there and just start pulling the wire out from the ground conduit. I mean, I'm picturing somebody sitting there with like a piece of wood just winding copper wire around it for like 20 minutes. Like, how long does it take to get? How long does it take to get 4,000 feet of wire out of conduit?
I was going to say, you know how hard it is to pull that stuff out of conduit?
Generally not easy.
Yeah.
Especially 4,000 feet of that's. I mean, what's a mile? Like 5,200 feet.
Tie it to the end of your truck, your truck axle, and start driving for 4,000 feet.
I'm telling you, there's nothing. Cleveland is fine. Just fine. Mayor Baby doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, is that considered? I know it's Cleveland, but is that like under Bibbs Slavic Village? Is that under Bibbs rule there? I guess it would
it's
be
in
right?
Cleveland. If it's in the city of Cleveland, I imagine it is. So yeah, I can imagine having a business there when it's dark out and you're in the city of Cleveland. I had somebody call me up. Hey, he lives down south of Akron. He goes, hey, I got to come up to see a family Christmas show or something in Cleveland. Are you allowed to conceal carry in a school?
Really? Yes. Like,
yeah. He was driving. He was driving, and he's like, you'd be the person to know. Let me call you. So he calls me up. I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't. I said, but it's the city of Cleveland, so carry at your own risk.
Rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
You could. It could be a time when you find it necessary to and take a risk, take a chance.
It's not advice.
Not advice. Don't do it. It's illegal, and I would never do it. But all right. So we are on to. Dang it! I did it again. I'm horrible. There it is.
We got to figure something out here, Rob.
Oh, it's just me. I'm just terrible at my pads. But if you're wondering where you can find me on X,
me love cookie.
There's a little tip for you. Good things. Story list is this morning. Today we'll start with. Wait, there we go. So apparently, one of the side effects of the Browns getting $600 million borrowed from the Unclaimed fund is a lot more people know about the Unclaimed fund, and a 435% increase year over year on the Unclaimed fund, which really, again, doesn't really tell you a whole lot other than it was probably really low on how many people actually took advantage of it every year.
I think they streamlined the process.
Yeah, they did
too, right?
They did. I think they put that in a budget or something like that. Maybe the numbers showed 122,964 total claims in the time frame in 2025 compared to, at least they put it in this article, which is good because most of the time they don't. By comparison, there were only 22,989 claims in 2024. That's quite a difference. 100,000 more people figured it out. Did you get some out of there? I think I looked into it.
Oh, I had like 75 cents, three different things for like 20 some cents.
I think we had one that was just under $20. I'm not even sure if it wasn't me, it was my wife. I'm not even sure if she.
I think my wife got hers, and my parents, I think, have something in there too. I got it. Not much, just probably around the $20 mark. I got to talk to them about that, or my sister can, I guess.
Yes, it's probably. Just reading through to make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, but so basically, a lot more people have known about it, and hey, good for them getting some money back.
Yep.
But still, probably doesn't make a dent in the. Can you say how much is in there? Still, I think there was like $10 billion or something crazy. They even say. Come on, this is News Channel 3 with the article.
Yeah, of course they wouldn't report.
Why would you put how much is in there? I thought it was like 10
it was a lot,
10 or 15. Like most of it was over 3 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy. So nobody's. How do you get an unclaimed fund if you've got a security deposit for a utility, and you cancel that utility and then you disappear? They can't take it. They actually have to put it somewhere, and this is where it goes.
Right.
Stuff like that. Next, we have, we have check out Northeast Ohio's new restaurant of the year. I've heard about this one.
We did a story. It was a good thing story. It was the still one, or it came in second, I think, for like a national booze contest. I forget which one other things won.
There's three different restaurants there. So it's Gervasi Vineyard Restaurant and Spa in Canton.
There's the Bistro, the Crush House, and the Still House. And the Still House won. It wasn't a bourbon they won with. It was a vodka, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
I think. I'm thinking that. It was one of our first shows, actually. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have to go back and look at the show notes. I bet it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, so they recognize him. So I think each one of their restaurants has won an award now. I think they were saying that somewhere in the report. I guess I got to go. I haven't been yet. Sounds like somewhere to go, I think. Yeah, check it out. So they won New Restaurant of the Year for Northeast Ohio. And they are in the Canton area, Gervais Vineyards. They growing their stuff in Canton, or is that just where the restaurant?
No, they have a vineyard in Ashtabula.
Yes, I thought. I've been to that one.
Geneva, around there.
I've been to that one.
I've been to a wedding there, which it was very good. The food was good.
Yeah.
I would like to go there just to have a meal and try out some of their wines. It's a nice place. It's really nice. So I imagine this place is really good too.
Sounds like it is. Lastly on our list is a one last little tidbit for, careful there, for Christmas lights. You got a special Christmas lights display in North Royalton on Applewood Drive. And as you see some pictures of it, you'll see it in the show notes if you check out the blog. And they did it looks like a really good job. They didn't overdo it. A lot of people overdo these things, but
it's
they're
tasteful.
Yeah, very tasteful. They've added a bunch of stuff, and now they're collecting money for charity. So you can drive past their house and take a look on Applewood Drive in North Royalton. And that's a crappy article.
10,020 Applewood Drive.
Yeah, what charity? I listened to the report, but the article from Channel 3
sucks. It doesn't say anything.
It's literally the caption of the picture is the article.
Well, you have to go there. I think there's like one or two charities they're actually donating to.
So check it out. They're raising money for charity, and it's a good thing. And you go see, if you're going to go see Christmas lights, check them out. If you're in the area, Applewood Drive in North Royalton, they laid it out. Looks pretty cool. And on that happy note of Christmas lights, I think that's kind of the show. I think we've droned on enough about Ohio stuff, and we can wrap it up. I thank everybody for listening. Thank you very much for spending your time with us on a weekly basis. We really do appreciate it. Please share the show. Go to crookedrivercast.com, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Send us an email, gmail.com. Send us an email. And check us out on X. And send us a message, send us a line, tell us what you think. If you can help out with any news in your area I think we should cover, let us know. We'll take a look at it. And for that is show 40. I thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace.